I'm Pamela Porter from Victoria, British Columbia, and I'm going to read from my poetry manuscript, Late Moon. All this time. Evening grows late, light slow, echo of the day's bright bell calling and calling the fathers in. Evening holds out a cup of light in case her father arrives thirsty, ripens the tree's fruit in case he is hungry. I go to unlock room after room of the night in case my father arrives weary. One by one, the sky sets the stars on fire. And we wait for our fathers, our lost fathers, whose daughters remain watchful, our torches lit. We will unfold blankets over them, stroke their heads, shining silver as moonlight, rejoicing should they arrive, our fathers, who all this time did not know their need of us. Father in heaven, my Father who art in heaven, what do you see who are alive to me in your death? When I look now at the world, I look at it for you, as if I could name each thing to remind you. Every morning I walk the path to the field where the old horse, already woolly from the gathering dark, meets me at the gate, the sky shining fresh between the tips of the pines. Sky, I say, horse, the scent of earth. The new horse, the wild one, is learning what it means to live in a field finite and fenced. He whinnies with the others, allows my hand stroking his neck, and I say, touch, and think how this light, its waxing and waning, must seem strange to you now. Everything turning to bronze, a dozen moons of the horse's hooves pressed into the dirt. And I wonder whether you think of me where you are, or if you have found me here among the horses in the field, and if I please you with my life. Just my life. Tonight, my dead father is tapping at my window. How lonely he seems, there in the dark, wind whipping his robe, unraveling his hair. It's cold outside. Someone should let him in. I want to tell my father he doesn't need to arrive unnoticed. My mother is no longer waiting for him. The neighbors aren't watching. If he is longing for books, he can read mine. If he is hungry for darkness, I have enough to share. I want to tell him there is no need for sadness. The rain takes care of that. When he taps on the window, let him rush in on the wind. Let the candle's flame bow before him. After all, what he believed was mistake was just my life. My mother opened the door. He slipped in, planted me inside her, and we met. My father emptying his pockets of string and coins, which I carried into the world in both my fists, secreted on my tongue. To speak of him, I might say absent, meaning winter, a long darkness, as in an absence of stars. I might say echo, a father who dwelt at the bottom of an abyss, a canyon. To speak of him, I might use silent, the light of afternoon leaving a doorway, the shadow of a barn lengthening over a field, a road no one travels. I could say deserted, as though he went to live in a desert, a mountain range risen up between us, the night a moon frozen to the sky. Or perhaps vanished, meaning the shape he left in air. Or God's magician, another father put in his place, an actor, impostor. I could say he was unreachable, a face lonely behind a glass, a window. For lonely, I put rain on the glass. I set absence there. I placed silence and an echo vanishing. Unreachable, he grew old, his arms branches without leaves. And like the sound of geese beating their wings and crying in the night, all these have entered me. Canyon, shadow, mountain, a long, dark season, the frozen moon, and the rain. After rain, meadow glazed with sun, 3 horses with thickening fur graze the field, their backs and the grasses steaming like the white plumes of their breath now at night beneath the moon. Apples ripened, falling, the long shadows of pines shake summer from their manes. Appaloosa. He is no longer wild, standing in the rain, in the field at summer's end. Land gone brown, the rain driving down what remains of the grass. His mane the same color of grasses at summer's end, his back dark with rain, though he stands beneath a lone pine, looking into the rain-soaked air. He must learn now, must allow their hands on him, the quiet touch between his eyes, the stroke down his neck. Within these lines of fence lie all the wild there is for him. The land tamed, leaves flamed and floating on the air, even the rain. This is all there is now, all the wild there is. One year to the day. So light you were, I could have carried you, as winter's cast-off leaves, as a flock of dark birds, and crossed the water with you in my arms, though death had made you giant, the stars dimming, the morning rising delicate as a breath. I could have carried you, still dressed in your plaid shirt, as the moment you sank sudden into your chair, overcome by something like a kiss. I could have carried you without help, I who was bitten thin by your absence, and would have pleaded with him who held the ring of keys. Couldn't I, too, pass through the gates? I'd polish the furniture of heaven, scrub the burial clothes, hang them to dry in the wind, like ghosts on swings, pumping higher and higher, gleeful as children. So light you were, I could have carried you, singing, I your shadow, I your shame, and would have wrapped you in cloth the colors of dawn, so that you arrived gleaming, as though you had only just been born. mercy. Let me unlock the doors to the night's mute houses, where my fathers lie sleeping, one dead, one living, both breathing. I can feel the earth's curve beneath us, the fulgent, fragrant jasmine procuring the outer walls, the small tears in night's fabric. Let the cats curl up at my father's feet. Let the moon make shadows outside their windows, mouse, tree, owl in shallow flight. The moon multiplied in their fingernails, and I rejoicing for the lost sheep found, one dead, one living. Sometimes we open our eyes in the dark, and nothing is the same. We waken on one side of eternity or the other. Let my fathers waken each to his own breath, rising like a soul, or a sparrow's flight across a field, the swoop and dip its body makes, swimming in the air. Let me cover my fathers with quilts, anoint their heads with the holy oil, the way the Magdalene anointed Christ. A torrent of devotion, extravagant, beyond all reasonable explanation for one dead, one living, tired now and resting from their long turning and turning of the earth. That's it, folks.